It's about becoming your vision rather than wanting it. When your identity merges with your desires, that's when you start to actually manifest, right? So when you start to create your reality or bring into fruition your dreams. Your dreams are this visual thing that exists in your mind, but they're not embodied. They're not actually here physically. How do you bridge that gap? Through your identity. When you become your vision, rather than just desire your vision, reality changes effortlessly because you get what you are, not what you want. Everybody wants financial abundance, but only a few people are truly rich. So become all that you can be. Be ideal now and watch reality change effortlessly.
Believe in yourself totally. Even though you may think it's a lie, believe in yourself. Never give in to what other people say you are. Never give them the chance to put you down, because you'll do that yourself anyway. Put yourself down. But don't let other people put you down. You get out there and you do it. And you may fail, you may run into a wall. So what? You get up and you do it. Be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid.
You can always tell when someone is going to be successful because they're blatantly different from everything else around them. Without even trying, their demeanor and energy just be different. That's why having a strong sense of identity is important, because every day the world will try to convince you into being somebody you're not. Authenticity leads to divine order and success. Keep that in mind.
The primary cause of the result is the image that is firmly planted in the subconscious mind. See, the old image is being expressed through the behavioral patterns that'll cause the repeated manifestation of the old image. And they get the same results over and over and over and over again. This person has failed to create an image of the new result they desire.
Because of the power of your self-image, you always perform on the outside consistent with a picture you have of yourself on the inside. By visualizing and imagining yourself performing at your best in an upcoming situation, you send a message to your subconscious mind and then coordinate your thoughts, words, and actions so that they fit a pattern consistent with the picture that you have created. Did you know that you control your income and your whole life by the way you think? The iron law of success is the law of cause and effect. This law says that thoughts are causes and conditions are effects. This law says that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. This means that you invariably attract into your life the people, circumstances, opportunities, and even sales that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. Perhaps the most important discovery in human history, the foundation principle of all religions, philosophies, metaphysics, and success psychology is this. Here it is. You become what you think about most of the time. Just think. You become what you think about most of the time. And since only you can decide what it is that you think about, only you can decide what happens to you in life.
Here's the secret to become high-value individuals. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Make a self-image switch. Your self-image is not just the idea or concept about yourself. It actually determines your limit in your performance and accomplishing your reality. So you have to stop sabotaging yourself, telling yourself that, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, this and whatever it is. You have to switch and then navigate yourself to the self-image that you want to be. So write that down. What is your ideal version of what kind of person you want to be? And start teaching yourself that you are that person.
Do you know when a person improves their self-image, they change their entire life? Their income changes, their relationship changes, their health changes. And do you know how you do that? Start studying you. Start to find out more about you. There's something phenomenal about you. Do you know when I began to study this material 57 years ago, I had very poor self-image. I had low self-esteem. I took dumb jobs. I never earned any money. I never had fun. I had poor relationships. And as I started to study real solid information, everything in my life started to improve. I've got friends all over the world today. I earn millions of dollars. I'm in my 80s and I get as much energy as a person in their 30s. Do you see, when you start to understand really who you are, you're God's highest form of creation. There's things about you that just about blow your mind as you start to study and really understand them. You'll walk a little taller. You'll stand a little straighter. And you know something? You'll enjoy a whole lot more of life.
I mean, I was making $500,000 a year. I can get you out of the rat race, that's for sure. But I could never break $500,000 a year. And I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? And it boils down to, after doing a lot of research, you can't outperform your own self-image. My self-image was $500,000. Built up that self-image. We'll do 9 figures this year. Come out, 9 figures.
If you can get a mental image of the person you would most like to become, begin now to act as that person would act in everything you do. Gradually, imperceptibly, you will actually become that person. It goes back to what the great German poet and philosopher Goethe once said. Before you can do something, you must first be something. Before you can do what you would most like to do, you must first become the person who can do it. A woman cooking dinner has only to act like a great chef to turn out a better meal. The student who begins to act like a top student will begin to get better grades. You can even look much better by simply acting like the person you would most like to look like and be like. The secret is to get and hold fast in your mind the mental image of the person you would most like to be. Then in every situation you act and talk as you feel that person would.
Nobody changes until they change their energy, and when you change your energy, you change your life. Don't expect anything in your life to change if your environment is controlling your feelings and thoughts, and if your environment is controlling how you feel and think. And I say to you, Aubrey, why are you so upset today? Oh, well, this person is upsetting me. What you're really saying is that person is controlling your feelings and your thoughts, and that means you're a victim to your environment. So to turn that around and you start realizing your feelings and thoughts create your environment, and you start seeing the effects of you at cause, you're going to react less to the people in your life, because you're going to understand that you'll be back to the victim consciousness. And when you start seeing that you're creating outcomes in your life, you're going to believe more that you're the creator of your life and less the victim of your life. And I say, the more you practice it, the better you get at it.
Do you know that you have an image of yourself inside? When you stand in front of a mirror, you see a reflection of the physical you, but that's not the real you. You have a picture of yourself in your mind. Do you know Dr. Maxwell Maltz wrote a book back around 1960. It was called Self-Image Psychology, Psycho-Cybernetics. It's a phenomenal book. He said it was the greatest discovery of his generation. He was a cosmetic or reconstructive surgeon, and he found he would do work on people. He might have done a nose job or removed a terrible scar. And he noticed that when he did that, there was a phenomenal change in their personality. But he noticed with others, he would make a phenomenal physical change, and there was no change in their personality. And that led him to postulate that we have two images. We have the one that's coming back from the mirror, but we've got an inner image. And that inner self-image is literally controlling our life. You will find people that have very poor self-image or low self-esteem. They won't look you straight in the eye. They're afraid to shake hands with you. They're very shy and withdrawn. They go through life hiding from life. They don't like themselves. They don't know themselves.
I know this sounds very obvious, but you need to hear this. You cannot think one thing and then do another. If you grew up your entire life saying, I'm anxious, I'm a procrastinator, I'm not a morning person, you've cemented so strongly your identity that your mind has no option but to view the world and deliver the world to you in alignment with that identity. Your mind is a lot of things. Sometimes it's smart, sometimes it's dumb because you can trick it, but it's definitely not a liar. So it feels like when you give it an identity, it needs to stay true to it. They even did a study on kids who have bad grades because they feel like they are bad academic spellers, they are bad with numbers, they feel like it's part of their identity. And what they found was they realized that that identity was so strong that getting good grades would be a moral violation of their own identity code, in the same way that an honest person would never dare steal. So if you cement your identity with this much conviction, why are you surprised that just because you threw in this habit or this task on some sort of mood board or vision board that you're suddenly going to be able to do it? You have to become before you do.
Who you spend time with is who you become. We know who you are by the 3 to 5 friends that you spend most of your time with. I would say to young people, what you choose is what you get. The circumstances in which you find yourself today do not define where you end up. They only tell us where you start. But we'll know where you're going to end up based on the choices you make. Hang around the right people. Think before you make a choice. Learn to deal with change in a way that can lead you to transformation. In other words, achieving your fullest potential.
Everything that we have and receive in life is a reflection of what we do. You know what I'm saying? And everything that we do is a reflection of who we believe ourselves to be. Because you're not going to do nothing if you don't believe yourself to be the type person that does that type shit. So ask yourself, who are you? And when you, after you answer that honestly, ask yourself, are you doing everything that that type of person who you say you are? And if you answer yes, and you doing everything that the person you say you is does, then that means you either having or on track to having everything that you meant to have. But if you're not doing everything that you're supposed to be doing as the person who you say you want to be does, then that means now clearly you like, okay, shit, I gotta do what this type of people does, and I'm gonna have everything that I'm meant to have as one of them people.
This is how you become the greatest version of yourself. Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And yes, professionally too. Before you glow up, you have to wake up. You've been stuck in survival mode. Waking up tired, mind racing, body bloated, soul numb. And the world has told you to keep pushing. But your higher self, she's whispering something different. Your healing starts now. So here's where to begin. Grab a notebook or your phone. On one page, write down every dream, every goal, every desire you've been hiding. And don't play small. If you want it, write it. Then give your higher self a name. That version of you that already has the love you want, the peace you want, the financial status you want, the freedom. Name that version of yourself and let that person be real. Then on the next page, write down your current reality. No shame, just honesty. What habits are keeping you sick? What thoughts are keeping you stuck? What emotions are you carrying that were never yours to begin with? Now compare the two and ask yourself this powerful question. What do I need to release and what do I need to begin? This is where you detox, not just your body, but your identity. Even if your bank account is low, even if your energy is off, shift your frequency, shift your future. That's called quantum healing, and it's already happening.
This is the part nobody warns you about. You make the decision, you start showing up differently, and then everything feels worse. Anxiety spikes, the self-doubt gets louder, the people around you start getting distant, your body feels weird, your mind won't shut off, and the natural conclusion is, I must be doing something wrong. But that conclusion is the trap. Here's the truth about transformation that most people never get told. The subconscious mind has a set point. It's a version of you that it considers normal, and it will do everything in its power to bring you back to that point, including manufacturing feelings of danger and failure. It's not punishing you, it's just protecting the identity that it was built around. But see, that identity is outdated. That's what it was before you knew what you were capable of. When you start exceeding it, when your beliefs and your actions begin to outgrow the old programming, the system gets louder. Not because you're failing, because you're threatening the old version of yourself. The caterpillar doesn't know what's happening inside the cocoon. It just knows something feels like dissolution. But dissolution is the process. You can't become your newest version without the old you breaking down. If you're in an uncomfortable place right now, if you're feeling like maybe I'm not cut out for this, understand you're not at the end. You're at the edge of who you used to be. And your breakthrough is on the other side of that edge. Do not quit 5 minutes before your shift.
If you want to become successful in life, young man, he said, number one, you got to change your mindset. He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Number two, practice OQP, only quality people. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. I found that out. I left all my broke friends. I say, y'all got to go. And the third thing is that develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. He said, those are 3 major things that you want to work on.
What is a breakthrough? You know, everybody says, I'd like a breakthrough, but what is it? In my life, a breakthrough is a moment in time. It's a moment in time when everything changes in your life. And it changes because what you thought was impossible, you now know is possible. And most importantly, you act on it. You don't just think about it, you do something. See, you're stuck. People get stuck in sadness. They get stuck in acceptance. They get stuck in anger. But in order to create something new, you just got to know your whole life can change in a moment. If you don't like your body, change it. If you don't like your relationship, change it. Maybe start by changing you, because otherwise you'll throw your pendulum and just find somebody else. After a while, you have the same problems, right? If you don't like your business change, you don't like your career change, you don't like your income change, you go, Tony, well, that sounds so easy, but it's not like that. Yes, it is. But in order to do it, you got to create a breakthrough. You have to find something inside you, that moment where you know that you can absolutely change, and not only can you, the impossible is possible, and you do something. You take action. Now, all of you have had moments of breakthroughs in your life. How many of you have had something in your life that maybe you struggled with for years? A change you wanted to make, needed to make, and you just didn't do it. You came to the edge of doing it, and then you procrastinated or put it off, or you gave up, and then were mad at yourself. But eventually, one day, something happened that put you over the edge. And in one moment, you said, not another day, not another hour, I'm changing this now.
Keep your self-worth and your net worth in 2 different places, because they're not the same. So you don't got it right now financially, but you always got it right now, because you were made with it. You were made to build it. You were made to serve from it. You were made to be it. So be it. And once you're being it, this comes. Don't ever let somebody tell you that your value is what you have monetarily, because temporarily you don't have the financials. So what? You still are you. Who can build it? Who can serve from who you are to build it?